Hello, Litam here. I would like to showcase a feature for modpack makers in Capsule, which will help you to configure properly your blueprint whitelist configuration. In case you want to provide your players with blueprints, templates, so it's a pattern the players will be able to craft and deploy several times, you might need to configure it properly in the blueprint config file. So in the configuration capsule, you have a blueprint whitelist.json file, which contains a definition of all the blocks that are allowed in whitelists. It contains only tile entities blocks, which are special blocks like machine. Any basic block is allowed in a blueprint by default, but advanced blocks which can hold configurations must have a declaration here so that can be handled by the blueprints. So here I noticed a bug with the water wheel, so I'm gonna update the configuration so that it takes into account a few things. If I try to deploy my water wheel, here is what happens. For each block of water wheel, it will deploy a full water wheel instead of having the block configured properly to be a water wheel part. So Capsule have a tool included to help us know what the properties of the block we should configure in the file. So I'll use the command, it's capsule export scene block. So I'm looking at the water wheel center by using this command, and it gives me this information. It tells me the give command that would give me this exact block, and it tells me in block entity tag what are the properties. So I see there is a offset properties, I see there is a rotation property, X, Y, and Z are non-important because those are relative for the position of the block, but this is not something we want to keep because when we deploy the blueprint, we don't know where it will be deployed in advance. Facing is a property we want to keep. Well, I'm actually unsure. Yes, we want to keep facing. The blueprint won't be able to rotate with such a block inside anyway. And prev rotation, we want to keep that also. And the ID, also, we want to keep the ID because it might be important. So all this information, I want to keep them in the blueprint whitelist. So facing, okay, I already have it. Rotation, I already have it. What I missed previously is offset. So I'm adding offset null. By default, the value here is always null. It's not null only in the specific case where the NBT data of the item that creates the block have a different naming. There are one case I know of. But generally null is okay. So I said offset rotation, it's okay. Facing, it's okay. Prev rotation, I don't have prev rotation, so I'm adding prev rotation. All right. And ID, but I think ID is handled by default. I don't need to specify ID once again. And I will do the same command for any block to see what's different between the two. And I see the offset is different, and I think that's it. The position of Z, of course, but it doesn't matter in our case. Okay, so now I have offset and prev rotations that are added, so it should work as expected. So I'm saving the configuration. I'm reloading, and now it should work. Capsule reload whitelist. Okay, should be good. I think it will not work in this blueprint because, well, it's already broken. I mean, it was captured with the wrong information, so it won't work anytime. So I'm getting this wheel. I will update the blueprint using this recipe. When I have a blueprint with anything else, it will update the blueprint with the new content. So here I copied my capsule content into the blueprint, recharging the blueprint, and now, okay, now the water wheel is deploying correctly, and it's what I expected in the first place. I hope it helps you understand how blueprint configuration work, and it will help you eventually add your own blocks into the blueprint config so that it allows players to play with your block in blueprints. See ya!